Hey guys, Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall at the AO Arena in Manchester, England. It's happening this Saturday, guys, and it's going to be featured on DAZN. So Tommy Fury may have just actually revealed the biggest key to this entire Eddie Hall fight, and it's not his speed, not his boxing skills, or even his undefeated record, guys. In fact, he's saying that he's treating Eddie Hall exactly the same way he treated Jake Paul and KSI. No emotion, just pure business. And that honestly sounds like a very simplified statement. And I actually think it tells us everything we need to know about Tommy Fury's mindset heading into what could easily be the most physically dangerous fight of his crossover boxing career. Now, here's the reality, guys. Jake Paul is a boxer. KSI, a boxer. I mean, maybe not elite level competition, but they were definitely training and they definitely have boxing skills. And like them or hate them, that's not the subject matter here. I mean, these guys can definitely box. All right. Now, both Jake Paul and KSI were training. They were competing inside the sport. Eddie Hall, however, a little bit different. He's completely different, in fact. He's a former world's strongest man. He's weighing in at around 30 stone. I mean, this guy's carrying like enormous size advantage. And he's stepping into a 6-round fight with the mindset of a guy who can end the night with one clean shot. And that very well could be. I just keep thinking about Andy Ruiz, and I think about his legendary over-the-top right. But then again, Andy Ruiz is a boxer. Right? He's got in-ring boxing IQ. He's a very good boxer, in fact. And Eddie Hall has not been a tried, tested, proven boxer. He's going to completely rely on his power and his size advantage. All right. So now the question is going to come down to is who's the better boxer? Well, clearly that's Tommy Fury. All right. Everybody already knows that he is. The real question I think everyone needs to be asking is Eddie Hall, right? I mean, is Eddie Hall going to be like every other opponent? I mean, it's interesting to me because when you talk about these crossover fights, you have each one of these guys brings to the table a whole different skill set, right? And I'm not sure how you prepare against a guy like Eddie Hall, just because of his pure size advantage. And this guy's a monster. He looks like a tank. He looks like a Sherman tank in the ring. I don't even know if the ring can hold both of these guys. But anyways, Tommy Fury recently explained that he can never really carry true emotion into these fights. I mean, he didn't when he fought Jake Paul and KSI. He said that he didn't really hate these guys either. He didn't really take it personal. He didn't get caught up in the trash talk. He simply viewed these fights purely as business. And I mean, that's a very, very good way to look at things. I mean, now he's saying the exact same thing ahead of his Saturday night showdown at the AO Arena in Manchester, England, about Eddie Hall. Now, according to Fury, Eddie Hall is big. He's powerful. He's strong. I mean, obviously, like, I can tell you that. But if being strong automatically made somebody a great boxer, then every strong man would be a world champion. Plain and simple. I mean, that's a point that Fury is trying to come back to. Because Fury is trying to emphasize the fact that skills beat strength. Technique can beat power. Boxing can beat size. And on paper, he's absolutely right. But what happens is when you get into the squared circle, that's when everything I mean, you step on a banana peel, you're done. You get hit with that one power shot. The question is, are you resilient enough to be able to take those shots in the first place and to be able to get back into the swing of things and regroup, sorry, and launch a counter attack. So, I mean, if we're talking strictly about boxing ability, then this fight's not even going to be close. Tommy Fury is an undefeated professional boxer. He's 11-0, and he's got 8 rounds with Jake Paul. I mean, he's beaten KSI. He spent years in the boxing ring, in the boxing gym. But Eddie Hall simply doesn't have that kind of experience. And, like when I think about Fury's comments, I mean, they reveal something else. I mean, I think Tommy's really trying hard not to make this fight bigger than it actually is, because psychologically, that's how experienced fighters operate. They try to normalize the danger as they see it. They don't obsess over it. They don't really spend weeks talking about how powerful their opponent is. They treat it like another day at the office, right? They try to go in cool, calm, collected, and they try to do things in a very methodical manner. They try to leave all their talking to their skills in the ring. And I agree with that. And I think that's the kind of mindset that you need to have when going into a fight like this, especially against a guy like the size of Eddie Hall. Have you seen Eddie Hall? This guy is like a beast. So anyways, that in my opinion, that's the smartest thing that Fury can do. But Tommy Fury can, I mean, yeah, he's completely correct about the boxing side of things, but I mean, there's still an element of this fight, guys. He could be in serious trouble, right? Because Eddie Hall just needs that one moment. He needs that one shot. That's it. One mistake, one lapse in concentration, one clean shot, that over the top right or left, whatever, that Andy Ruiz shot, and suddenly all the technical advantages in the world stop mattering as we know it, right? So does that mean that Hall's likely to win? No. I mean, Jake Paul was looking for that one shot against AJ back in December against, in his fight. That didn't happen, right? I mean, but then again, there's a size advantage, right? Eddie Hall's got some serious size. He might be able to weather some early storms from Tommy Fury. I think where Tommy could excel is by going past like the third round, potentially. Once you get into the fourth, fifth, sixth round, and provided that Tommy Fury's stamina can hold up, then I think Eddie Hall could be in serious trouble, right? Because, I mean, Eddie Hall's probably going to unleash all his arsenals within the first couple rounds, or even in the first round. And he's going to try to hurt him bad. He's going to try to go for an early knockout against Fury. And that could be a mistake, because if Fury, being an expert boxer, he might have been training for this. He might have been training for this opportunity, in a sense where he knows that he's going to have to weather the storm early and then try to win him on the rebound by trying to gassing out Eddie Hall. I mean, look, at the end of the day, man, he needs to stay sharp. He needs to get the job done. And that's what it's all about, right? I mean, right now, Tommy Fury doesn't sound like a fighter that's overlooking his opponent. I mean, he sounds like a fighter who truly understands where he is in the grand scheme of things, and where the danger actually lies, right? I mean, we know that the danger is not in Eddie Hall's boxing skills, but it's definitely in his physicality. And those are two completely different things, guys, because I hear a lot of people. I was just talking to somebody earlier today, because I was telling them I'm going to do a little thing on Eddie Hall and Tommy Fury. And you know what? I hear somebody was saying, well, you got a strong man versus a boxer, and a lot of people automatically think that's a mismatch, And look, combat sports history is unbelievable, right? I mean, we've seen so many times before, even against boxers fighting other boxers or what have you, but we've seen so many times where we thought, based on everything that we know about a particular fighter, what's on paper, and all the news surrounding that particular individual, we thought that this is how a fight was supposed to go, and it was completely the opposite, right? People that we least expected to do big things in the ring did big things. So, I mean, that unpredictability can happen at any given time. You can't underestimate an opponent. You can't underestimate a fighter. And, I mean, like, combat sports history has umpteen number of examples of athletes creating this kind of chaos simply because they bring something unusual or something a little bit extra, into the ring. So yeah, when I talk about unpredictability matters, especially in this kind of situation. Pressure situations like this matter as well, right? Even when there's a gap in skill sets. And Eddie Hall knows this, right? I mean, like, and I mean, first of all, Tommy Fury understands who he's up against, and I think he understands that better than most people because he is a technically sound fighter. But Eddie Hall, I'm sure, understands the dangers as well, um, and he understands his limitations. So Eddie Hall is going to try to come up with the plan, and he's going to go in accordance to what that plan is. And I think that plan is to try to get the early knockout, to hurt, Tommy Fury as quick as he can, as fast as he can, so he doesn't have to dip into his resources and potentially get gassed out in the later rounds. So I personally, though, the thing that I'm kind of struggling with when it comes to Tommy Fury is because, yeah, last time I seen him was against Jake Paul, and that was in Saudi. But my biggest thing is what happens with this career? Like even after this fight, like assuming he wins, where do you put Tommy Fury into everything? Like like is he the next big thing? Like is he like, what do you do with Tommy Fury? What's next? Like, I don't understand. Is he trying to build a traditional boxing career, or is he just chasing these, crossover hybrid style kind of fights? I mean, I personally think that the answer is not as clear as we would have liked to anticipate. But fighting Eddie Hall tells us something really important, that these are the kinds of fights that are attracting a lot of hype. They're generating a lot of attention. They're actually generating some big time headlines. And when you have a lot of interest and hype, and there's a lot of marketing thrown into it, then you get money thrown into it. Forget about the traditional boxing, in my opinion. I mean, if that's where the money's at, if that's where the hype and energy, and if that's where all the fanfare's at, then that's what sells. And I mean, if you're looking at this purely as a business kind of a deal, then then I think these guys are definitely doing the right thing. Yeah, the purist traditional boxing fans are not going to like it, but this is the kind of match that a lot of people, including myself, who I love watching traditional boxing, but I also have this keen curiosity and excitement about watching these crossover fights as well. So for a guy like me, who's kind of like, I would say, fiscally in the middle, I mean, well, maybe not so much in the middle. I'm a little bit more on the purist side, but I love a good crossover fight. Believe me, I love it. I think it's great. Question is, are other people watching it, or do other people also have the same kind of consensus I do? I think they do. I think a lot of people like this kind of stuff because this kind of curiosity sells, right? It brings a lot of attention, not only to the fighters, but brings a lot of attention to the sport. And you know what? In some cases, that's how you draw in like a new fan base every single time. So yeah, that's probably why Tommy Fury finds himself here against Eddie Hall instead of pursuing a completely different path when it comes to boxing itself, right? Now, from Eddie Hall's perspective, I mean, yeah, the fight is actually a massive opportunity for him. The expectations are incredibly low. I think he understands that. I think he's coming in here as the underdog, and he knows he's coming in as the underdog. He's going to try to prove everybody wrong, and if he gets the job done Saturday night, then he lives to fight on another fight, which means it could be even a bigger fight, and it could be against the likes of, say, like a Francis Ngannou, or anyone for that matter who's willing to tango with Eddie Hall and his physicality and size. No matter what, if Eddie Hall beats Tommy Fury, he'll be the only guy to have done it. He'll end Tommy Fury's most perfect record, but then Eddie Hall can start calling out some big names, and people will pay a pretty penny to watch Eddie Hall's next fight. But I mean, it creates a very dangerous situation, guys, because right now, as we know it, Tommy Fury is supposed to dominate this fight. I mean, on the other hand, you got a guy who's got nothing to lose, right? Surprises become possible. I mean, Hall doesn't really need to outbox Tommy Fury for 6 rounds. He doesn't need to win a technical battle. He just needs that moment, right? He's going to try to catch that moment. He's going to try to catch Fury early if he's smart. He's going to try to end this as quick as he can. What he's going to try to avoid is trying to win this in the latter rounds, because the latter rounds are only going to favor Tommy Fury. That's my personal opinion, right? I mean, here's another major problem. I think way too many people are treating this like a normal boxing fight. This isn't a normal boxing fight. We're talking about a 6 round, like non-sanctioned crossover fight. And so when you have something, I thought it was going to be 10 rounds. I heard it was going to be 10 rounds. Now I hear it's 6 rounds. But that changes everything, right? And the atmosphere is also quite different, right? The expectations are different. And yeah, like, I mean, Fury's mentality may end up being more important than his physical tools at the end of the day. But, you know, for Tommy Fury, every fight that he takes on like this, there's more pressure of winning these crossover fights than winning a traditional boxing fight, right? And if Tommy Fury ends up going reckless or trying to entertain the crowd or try to prove a point, the momentum could slip in Eddie Hall's favor, and that becomes a dangerous situation, right? So anyways, guys, like I said, one punch can completely change the conversation as we know it. My take has been, from the get-go, my take has been pretty simple. I truly feel that Tommy Fury is saying exactly what he should be saying. I mean, comparing Eddie Hall to Jake Paul, KSI, that's not being disrespectful. In fact, yeah, you have to give credit where credit is due. A lot of people hate on Jake, a lot of people hate on KSI, but I mean, yeah, you know, there's some questionable fights that Jake had against some like older age fighters, but for the most part, he has been able to prove that he can box. I mean, he didn't get knocked out by Anthony Joshua in the first round. It took Joshua 6 rounds before he dislocated his jaw or broke his jaw. But I mean, for Tommy to compare Eddie Hall or put Eddie Hall in the same breath as KSI and Jake Paul, it's kind of a compliment, right? That already establishes Eddie Hall to some degree. I mean, Tommy's telling everybody that he's approaching this fight professionally, kind of emotionally detached to all the news and noise that's kind of surrounding him. And he's just kind of focusing more on the execution of his abilities inside the ring. And I personally think that's a correct approach here. That said, I also truly feel that Eddie Hall presents a different kind of a challenge to Tommy Fury, a different kind of a threat, as so to speak, compared to Jake Paul or the likes of Jake Paul or KSI have ever done. I think this is a different animal, a different beast altogether, like literally, no pun intended. But that said, anything can happen, guys. And I'm not saying just because I say he poses a different kind of a threat, I'm not saying he's a better boxer. But he does have, you know, he's got this physical anomaly that it's a sight for sore eyes. I mean, he literally is a tank. How do you knock out a tank? Right? So anyways, guys, I mean, physical, you know, anomalies can land clean punches and things can happen beyond your wildest imagination. So my prediction is Tommy Fury wins this fight. I think his experience, his movement, his technical ability, in-ring ability, I think they're too much. I think they're going to overwhelm Eddie Hall. But I also think this fight will have some very tense moments, for sure, more than a lot of people expect. And I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think Tommy Fury is going to get it done in the first round or two, but you never know. Anything can happen. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this, you know, somewhat breakdown or analysis of the Tommy Fury Eddie Hall fight. Again, it's happening this Saturday at the AO Arena in Manchester, England, and it's going to be featured on DAZN, and it's going to be great, guys. And actually, the rest of the card doesn't look too bad either. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this, and please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. Hit the notifications so you guys never miss a beat, and I look forward to catching you guys in the next video, of course.